लेना पड़ेगा।
ग्रुप को छोड़िए, महिलाओं को
और कौन देखेगा?
देने से अच्छा है. Giving money to the poor, it's like in a way doling money out. The giver finds sometimes that he's in a superior position, perhaps, and the receiver becomes like a beggar. So there's a sort of relationship there built in that sort of. I feel personally, the traditional charities here, we are doing a lot of good, but keeping the people dependent on us. So that can be questioned. Perhaps in some situations there's no way out, especially in all these emergencies that we have, like tsunami and other things. Perhaps that's the only thing that can be done. Whereas now with this group approach, I feel you don't have the power. You can put in the capital and but then it's not yours any longer. You can invest a little, but afterwards it belongs to the group. So you don't have much power there, and it's much better for the group itself, I don't call them the recipients, the beneficiaries of the program, to develop their own sense of power. They have control over the resources. They are the ones who are going to manage their resources. Builds up human confidence and self-dignity, human dignity. Saris, they put their best saris. Some of the frustrations, I think, very much happens, at least in this part of the country, being women. Being a woman, many people still wonder, can you run an organization? What kind of work? Are you capable of it? Locally, it's a big question. Women would never venture into work like this or manage microcredit services and so on. So that's a big frustration. Over and over again you come up with the same thing, like sort of pressure and blocking your way and questioning and so on. There is that. Then also the very ethos of this place, in this community, society here. Bihar, as you know, is one of the poorest and the most backward states of India. So, and there's a lot of there is corruption, which could be, of course, questioned, and I don't have data here exactly to show this corruption and that, but there's a climate around the place, and there's a lot of cynicism about the state and the government. So these are some of the frustrations, and so in spite of it all, we have to keep our hopes alive. As you say, the whole question of poverty, it just crosses my mind that it's a question for all sides to examine ourselves. The poor, why are we poor? And the rich, what can we do about sharing? The poor, perhaps in these developing countries, need to work much harder and think out their policies, question the whole corruption that goes on in these countries. We have to do that in the developing countries. And on the other hand, the rich also, in the same sense, the spirituality that is expected of them is also this transparency, the spirit of sharing, this compassion. It's a whole shift that is called for all over the planet, a sort of a change in human consciousness, a shift in consciousness, the way we think, the way we respond to life, an awakening, as you put it so well. A spiritual awakening is what is called for, I feel, at this moment, the survival of the whole human race on this planet and the planet.
The dream is not so much to become rich and richer, but rather it seems to be to create a richer and richer life for yourself and everyone around.
Yes, certainly I agree with you that it's the dream of getting richer, and there's only this one way and there's no other alternative, as we hear people saying, and this is the alternative, a consumer, profit-oriented culture, economy. If that's the dream and everybody hopes to, plans to get richer and richer, there won't be sufficient for all, certainly. And very circumstances, very force of nature would contradict this dream or bring us down to reality. And in a way, the reality, of course, neither is it ideal here at the grassroots, where people really live on the bare essentials, bare necessities, and somehow work out more human patterns of living, where the community and sufficient to live on, meet basic needs, come together. And this is another aspect of the dream which I think can somehow be woven into the fabric of our lives, and somehow also share dreams in a way. Is that the only way that we all get as rich as possible, or is there another aspect to human life? And I think we should explore this second alternative, and we've got a lot to learn from each other in friendly ways, through dialogue and sharing and exchange as we are doing here. And I'm sure that should bring hope and newness of life and a fully human life to all those of us who are in it. Somebody more?
Ada wala sa alay kang bulan, okay?